Gamerheads podcast is part of the Little Fellow Media Podcast Network, sponsored by podcast host Budsprout, the easiest podcasting software for hosting, promoting, and tracking your podcast.
What's happened to them sausages, Charlie?
5 mini sturkers.
It was 2 minutes, 5 minutes ago.
And welcome to a new series that we're starting called 5 More Minutes, a short podcast that will be talking about things that are, I guess, of nerd or geek culture, but not video game related. And we'll spend 5 minutes talking about a topic. And today's topic is going to be about Martin Scorsese compares Marvel movies to theme parks, saying that's not cinema. So,
ooh, controversy.
Yes. So we'll start the timer and we'll spend 5 minutes talking about our thoughts on this. So, should we just go into what he said first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So he was quoted by saying about Marvel movies, he says, "I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Honestly, the closest thing I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being." Ooh. Which ones have you seen, Mr. Scorsese? Because
okay.
I'm not sure.
I am starting the timer. 5 minutes.
Here we go.
It's done. We are done.
We are done.
Go.
And go. So, what movies has he seen? How could you say they're not about emotional, psychological experiences? Come on, like, Endgame.
I'll agree with that part. Yeah, I'll agree with that part, but I think there's a difference between movie and cinema.
Right. That's
based on what he said.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like the thing about the Marvel movies is that they are created to be with like the maximum amount of marketability in mind, and they are meant to appeal to the widest audience possible.
Yeah.
They're not, that art that's made for art's own sake. And then if that art happens to resonate with enough people, then it becomes commercially successful, but that's an afterthought. That's like the opposite end of the spectrum from the Marvel movies.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. It's almost elitist. Didn't we just talk about this on the podcast?
It's very elitist. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, it just reeks of nose.
We did talk about elitist, but I guess then that you have to say, what does it matter?
Yeah.
You have to decide what's the definition of art, and does it matter that something that is entertainment, created to be entertainment, is not art?
Yeah.
Does that make it less?
Well, so the new Joker movie came out, and I won't go see it because I feel like they were trying too hard to make it artsy fartsy, and they're like, oh, we could win an Oscar with this movie. Like, there's Oscar buzz around this. And it felt like they were trying to make it artsy, and I didn't like it at all. So I won't go see it. I think that they tried to do something. They were taking the Joker.
So they were trying to elevate a comic book movie, and you're upset?
Well, because they were doing things to this character that doesn't make sense. They gave him a backstory, doesn't make sense. They try to make him relatable, which doesn't make sense. And they're trying to do all these things that Scorsese says, well, there's no emotional or psychological experiences in human beings in these movies. But then they take a comic book character who should just be, evil for evil. Like, there should be no connection to this character. Like, you should not have an emotional connection to the Joker at all.
I felt the same way with how Rob Zombie destroyed the Halloween franchise with his.
Oof. Well, sorry. I mean, if you saw House of a Thousand Corpses and then you still went to see another Rob Zombie movie, that's on you.
Thank you. It is on me. I stopped after Halloween. I'm done.
Do you really want? I mean, some other people are saying, do you really want Scorsese to direct a Marvel movie? I don't know if I do.
No, he sticks with his own cinema, and we get our fun movies. The thing I loved about the Marvel movies is that remind me of when I was a kid, when I would see things like Goonies or, Never Ending Story or movies like that, where movies were made to be movies, like to have fun. Not to say that they didn't have like the serious, the cinema type movies back when I was a kid, but that's why I go to the movies, just to have a good time. I don't need to have, all this art and fancy pomp and circle. I don't even know what I'm saying, but all that stuff shoved in my face. Like, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
That's why all these movies that are nominated for the Best Picture Oscar are ones that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Christian, 70 seconds, your take.
I think that it is reductive of him to say this about all blanket statement movies, because regardless of what the contents of a movie are, you can still feel an emotional connection with what the pictures are on screen and with the individuals you're experiencing it with. There cannot be any characters whatsoever in a movie, and you could still feel an emotional connection to it regardless. And I think action can make you feel emotions if it's set up correctly. Mad Max Fury Road, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's not because of any of the characters. And I would say that film is, in a sense, art.
Yeah, I would agree. When did that come out? 17?
That sounds right.
2017?
Yeah, sounds right.
That was, whatever year it was, that was hands down the best movie I saw that whole year.
Dang. Coming from Screenwriter Blue.
Yeah, that's right.
Not part of the Writers Guild. So
No,
that would
no,
be great.
that's-
Yeah.
Yeah, let's. But that's okay, because they're an elitist group, Blue.
They are an
So
elitist group.
You don't want to
We
be
don't need
eating
them.
their tartar and their caviar and their. Anyway, this is a very elitist statement, I thought. So
All right. So
that's it.
We got time.
There it is.
there it is. You hear it?
Yep.
Yep. That's the timer. So, all right. That was about perfect.
Yeah. So, listeners, thank you for joining us for 5 more minutes. We'll be continuing to do these short episodes talking about things outside of the gaming industry, but still in the realm of the geek and nerdiness that we like to talk about. So, if you like to hear more of that, let us know. And we'll leave it at there. So, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
So long.
Adios.